Is the Mayfield selection something to give a little look-see as insurance for Matthew Stafford's long-term health, future decision to play football? I mean, so how do the Rams and Les Snead and McVay view Mayfield as he potentially might take the field even tonight?
It's a lot of different things. And wherever you had Baker Mayfield graded, there were some teams that did not have him graded as a first-round pick, much less the number one overall pick. But it's still a player who, is draftable. He won games. Like I said, he won a playoff game with Cleveland back in 2020, something that the franchise hadn't done in decades. So this is a buy low option. It's about $1.35 million, I believe, for the rest of this season to put him on the team and work with him and see what you might be able to get out of him. Everything off the field in Carolina, I talked to many people about this, was positive. He was a great teammate and supportive and did everything right, worked really hard. He just wasn't very good on the field.
Yeah.
So if anybody's going to be able to break a guy down and kind of get him back to his fundamentals and give him a little bit of juice and positivity, it's Sean McVay. But the perhaps the primary reason, or at least one of the driving factors in claiming Baker Mayfield, is they might need him to play, not 2 weeks from now, tonight, because they're in a situation where John Wolford has been dealing with this neck injury for quite some time. It's popped up a couple of times recently here. From what I was told, he moved around pretty good in practice yesterday, so there's some optimism that, if he's feeling good, gets through an early warm-up, looks good, that he's going to be the starter tonight. But Baker Mayfield, from what I am told, is going to dress for this game. And if Wolford, for some reason, the neck tightens up, he can't go or he has to drop out, Baker's going to play. So they have Bryce Perkins on the team, too, who made one start earlier in the season. But, a little bit different style of game plan that you're playing with Perkins. And I bet that he plays some, too. There could well be packages in for him in this game tonight. But if you had to not go to Wolford or pull him out of the game, Mayfield is going to be the guy who's going to go in, which seems crazy on paper because he was claimed not even 48 hours ago, 4 p.m. Eastern time, just to lay out the timeline here. On Tuesday, Baker finds out that he's been awarded to the Rams. Well, at that point, he already knew or had a high level of belief he was going there because there were only 3 teams that could claim him above the Rams. He already had his flight to L.A., so he flies in, gets there Tuesday night, immediately starts cramming. I was told he got a full install yesterday, so he's up to speed on what's in the game plan. It's a Thursday night game, so the game plan usually is a little bit slower, or smaller rather, for those games. He hasn't had a practice, walkthrough yesterday. He's never thrown to these guys. He's never been in the huddle with them. It's something. There's very few occasions in NFL history where we've seen a guy start a couple days after being signed or claimed or traded for at the quarterback position. I can't say that this is the best case scenario for Baker Mayfield, not only to play with a new team 2 days after being claimed, but do it on national TV potentially. But that's the spot that the Rams are in right now. They don't have a ton of options, and so Baker's going to be in uniform. We'll see if he gets on the field.
Tom Pelissero here on the Rich Eisen Show. I just have a feeling, though, that we're going to have an off-season conversation about Stafford. Does he want to do it anymore? I mean, spinal cord contusion sounds. I mean, that sounds a bit, more concerning than just back-to-back concussions, which is as concerning as it gets. Tom,
Well, absolutely, and it's I believe Matthew's about 33 years old at this point. He's got a bunch of kids.
Yeah, I know.
He's married.
Yeah.
He's made a lot of money in his career. I mean, there's something to be said for it. Does he and his family want him to continue to go? Not just because of this particular injury, but, I mean, think of all the things Stafford played through during his time in Detroit and all the times he's out there with, broken ribs or an injured hand or whatever it might be. And then last year playing through the elbow. Managed to make a run, played great in the playoffs, but then this year still dealing with the elbow in camp, and multiple times landing in the concussion protocol plus the spinal cord contusion. It's frightening stuff. The Rams' plan, if you look at how they're kind of set up here and extending Stafford, extending Aaron Donald, extending Cooper Kupp, they kind of gave themselves before this year about a 3-year window to try to win one more. There was no way they were thinking we're going 3-9 to start the season. I mean, that could not have been in the realm of possibility. But this wasn't just hey, let's take one more shot and then blow it up. No, they've got guaranteed money to a bunch of their veterans, their core players, and that's the group that Sean McVay wants to try to win with. So you're right, Rich. They're going to have to the Stafford family is going to have some decisions to make. But if he decides he wants to play, he's got a guaranteed contract. I would certainly anticipate that that's what the Rams would want to move forward with here. Frankly, they don't have their own pick, which right now would be a top 5 pick. The Lions are going to be using that one instead. So, yeah, I mean, their hands are tied a little bit here when you don't have a lot of picks and you've got an expensive roster with a lot of star players. But, that's in some ways also a good problem to have. I'm sure that the Rams feel internally like they've got a group that if Stafford comes back, is able to play and is healthy, there's no reason they can't bounce back with a lot better luck health-wise and make a run in 2023.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.